And so he's trying to do good boy on my side.
It's my first
He's
time.
a bad boy for Jesus. Is that a statement like that called bad boy for Jesus?
I don't know. Maybe you just said it now. We can add it in the dictionary.
Can I do this? I'm a bad boy
We
for
can
Jesus.
add it. I'm a bad boy for Jesus.
You know. But thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
All right. AfriOne is a very simple concept, and we just want to talk about an idea of us as Africans.
Okay.
And one of the things that people seems to ask me, especially when we start this very particular show, is the fact that why AfriOne? The main aim of AfriOne is for us to center on the focus that just because we are different in our diversity, language, tribe, culture, nationality, does not mean that we're not one.
True.
And so what are the challenges that we go through? How then do we navigate the challenges to bring back ourselves as one? Now, for instance, you are into the music side of things. There are challenges that you are facing currently in your music industry that if the AfriOne concept and idea has been fully adopted by African Union, it would have been very easy for you to be able to run your career. So practically it's just going to be a place whereby we're just going to talk. And please, I know that yes, it's an uncensored platform. You know me very well. You don't need to be afraid of anything. Nobody's going to come get you. And guys, hear me. Every talk we talk here is solely the opinions of the individual. It is not an investment idea for you to follow. It is not us giving an idea for you to go and run. It's just an idea that we are sharing. If it makes sense to you, you can pick it. If it doesn't make sense to you, you can throw it away. As fast as that. Let me just talk to me now. How has it been thus far in your media industry, or probably the media industry for you? How has it been?
Challenging one. It has been challenging. You know, one thing about music, there's a lot of people in that industry, and there's a lot of people trying to break forth in that industry. So there's a lot of challenges. And one of the major challenges that we all know is finances. And secondly, getting your music to be heard by a lot of people. Because the only way you make music, the only way you make money from music is getting a lot of people to hear your music.
Okay.
For example, the only way you can get a lot of money from your music, if a lot of people listen to your song on radio, on Spotify, on social media platform. So getting yourself to that point where you're famous, that's when you start making money. So those are the challenges personally and most artists face in the music industry.
So thus far, I hear the music industry challenge. Do you want to say that that there is no funding for you guys, for you to go and approach a particular agency or something that is willing to invest in you guys?
Yeah, the thing is, like, there's a lot of corruption in the industry, and I think they are funders, but for someone like me, let me talk about me.
Yeah,
being
you're
a
talking about you, very important.
Being a foreigner in South Africa, there's no funding anywhere.
So there's no agency that funds foreigners
there's zero funding for anyone, because even the South Africa, they're even struggling to get the funders. You understand? Let's say there's a budget for 100 rand, and there's 10 million people wanting. So there's no funding, right? And in that the 100 rand, there's a lot of people you need to bribe to get 100 rand. So there's a lot of payola that goes on in the industry.
What do they call it?
They call it payola. South Africa, they call it payola, that you need to pay.
Oh, payola.
Yes, sir. For example, for my music to be played on TV, I need to drop something, man.
Serious?
If I don't drop some, and it's illegal. It ought not to be so, but most time, if I don't do that, no one's going to play my music. And even if they play my music, they're just going to play it once or twice. So no matter how good your song is, I've got a couple of good songs, and I say, this one won't pay, let me just put it, good video, and then play it.
So which means it's not necessarily that you go to the industry, you go to these TV stations and you drop your music and they play it. There must be a payola, like
there must be a payola.
Wow.
There must be somebody, there must be compiler, you're giving something.
So compiler is the one who
compiler is one,
compiler literally are the big boys in your industry.
They're the big boys. Like I actually read an article on the Daily Sun Nigeria.
Daily Sun Nigeria, okay.
Talking about the new train they just built. There's a new train
I see the train.
They built, and someone was complaining that he was about purchasing a ticket, and someone said, no, you want to buy a ticket? He said, yeah, come with me. The next thing he saw himself passing the security. Next thing he was in the train. So like, am I not supposed to buy a ticket? He said, no, don't worry, no, you don't need to buy a ticket. So he was quiet. He was trying to watch what was happening. The train started moving. In 10 minutes time, they started collecting money. He noticed that he paid in that couch, like there's a couch, couch 7 like that. He paid 18,000 for him and his friend. So he calculated how much those people are making for just that couch. It's almost 200,000 per trip.
Wow.
That's the payola we're talking about. That doesn't go to the government. Now tomorrow the train stopped working because there's no money to maintain it, because there's some. Now they are out of 10 coaches, they're only taking one. Eventually it's going to spread to the whole coaches. He said because there's somebody that somebody walked into the train like, did you get your tickets? No, I actually bought my ticket. He said, you bought. So this particular coach is for those guys doing payola, because that guy from the security handed him to another guy in the train. So they are the one sharing the money.
So which makes
that's the corruption. That's the corruption that goes on even in the music industry.
Now, one of the things, and I wouldn't want you to mention names because, but if you want to, it's fine, you can. Okay. One of the things I've heard about your music industry is the fact that there are some certain players, some certain group of people who literally will pay the station or pay compiler, like you said, not to play your music, even when you pay the compiler. Yeah. Is that true? Yeah,
I think there's slots. They will call it slots in the industry.
Yeah.
Like let's go to maybe China O.
Yeah.
There are particular slot that's reserved for some record label.
Okay.
I see there's this slot for people from Sony.
Yeah.
There's this slot from people from Mambala Noise. There's this slot from Tira Music.
Serious? It happened like that on TV?
Yeah. You understand? So there's this stuff from Maporisa people and everything. they have slots. Those are the gatekeepers. They call them the gatekeepers.
Gatekeepers, yeah.
They are the one. They're the one that say you when you're not going to blow and you're not going to blow, because they are the one. They have personal contact with the compilers and the schedulers and the directors. So say, hey, this guy don't play. Please take off all his songs on radio, and they do that.
And when you guys find out about that, how do you guys feel?
We feel bad. It's challenging because, do you know? Let me say, do you know as big as China O is or this music station, they actually pay some artists money to shoot video. You know that?
Okay.
They can actually call Nasty and say, wow, when are you going to shoot video? Let's give you money for you to shoot your next video. They sponsor.
They sponsor. Okay.
You understand? Because they know those guys, they have stream, they have a lot of people watching them. Yeah. Watching them. But for someone like us, even we with the good after the sweat, I remember replying to one of my message from MTV Base. One of my videos was rejected. I was so angry, like, you guys are just full of shit. I just had to reply on that message because the video is good, bro. I know, not because it's my video, like the quality of the video is so.
No, I know you put.
I don't joke with quality of my videos, but it was rejected because we payola. Let me give you an example. A particular example. I did a song with a girl called Delta.
Okay.
Delta song was on during COVID, during lockdown, was on number 1.
Okay.
On top chart. So we did a song together. I was hoping, and I did a song with this guy. He's gonna play. I'm not gonna call the station on this one, so they won't stop playing this song.
No, so I hear you. Disclaimer. Okay.
So she said, no. When I said, Emmy, don't worry, my song, it plays on high rotation. I said, bro, this payola thing works. If you don't bring money, they won't play. She said, nah. So we did that song. I left it for her to go submit. He submitted it. They rejected it. That same station that they rejected that video, I called because I have access to the compiler. I called the compiler. I said, there's a video I want you to play for me. How much? He told me how much. I just came. I said, I'll send him money. I sent him the money. That video is one of my most played videos to date.
Wow. So which means, guys, this is something here that I want your comment on this very particular stuff. Do you think that it is right for the stations to, for lack of better words, typhoon the up and coming artists simply because they are not part of the payola strength? Because the truth of it is the fact that many of us, and this is me, if not because you're saying it, I don't know. Many of us just think that by the time you go, obviously I know that yes, these stations, they have hundreds of thousands of videos that comes in, but I never knew that there is the payola system that is going on in there. Now, the question there is the fact that for those of you listening and those of you watching us currently now, have you ever experienced a payola, and which country is that from? Because the truth of it is the fact that if we don't talk about this very particular thing, this is why young talent are frustrated.
True.
For example, look at what happened with this young man in Nigeria called Mohbad. Chances are, honestly, I'll be very honest saying it on here, I never knew Mohbad. I only knew Mohbad when he died.
True.
So I'm like, okay, who is this Mohbad of guy when he died? And some of his songs, I remember one of his songs, I actually have it on my phone currently, and Love Me, I think the way the guy said is that you will love me when I'm dead. Now I'm trying to hustle and stuff. And when I listen to that very particular song, I'm like, what the hell is this? And one of the things that some of his friends were talking about was the fact, the social media was talking about was he struggled. His record label were frustrating him, and the market industry were now shrinking him out of the ways and all of those very particular things. I'm like, well, I'm not into this very particular space, so I don't. A lot of people are saying, but darling, this is your country, why you're not commenting? I'm like, guy, I'm not in the music industry. If you ask me, comment on politics. Thank you. You know me. Comment on politics. Comment on ministry. I will talk. Now, on this payola thing, because it's quite interesting for me, what do you think needs to happen for people like your kind who are, because we are going to coming back into the South African market, because I know South African market is a bit dicey, it's going to make, hear me guys as a disclaimer, it's going to make you get angry. And it's okay, you can be angry. It's your emotions. We're not going to stifle your emotion from not being angry. But what do you think needs to happen? And I'm not saying from the South African point for now, in terms of this payola system that is going on, what do you think must happen so that you guys must have a fair share of the industry, for lack of better word, publicity that is available there?
I think fire out the compiler, get the compilers. I think you just need to send a strong warning to the compilers. And one of the most painful things is that most of the compilers, they know nothing about music. They're not musically inclined.
So which means they're employing wrong people.
Yeah, one, because I can tell you for a father, the father I don't like Maskandi music.
Okay.
Doesn't mean that it's not nice. I might not play Maskandi music, but doesn't mean it's not nice. So if I'm a compiler, I think about the audience, the people that's going to listen to the song.
Not your song.
Not myself. Oh, this song. But when I look at the visual, is nice. The song is nice. I'll play it. You understand? So that's what I know for sure. Most of the compilers, they know nothing about music. You say, no, this song is nice. I just hear it like, bro.
So which means in your industry, compilers are really the one that is frustrating you.
They're the one, compilers and schedulers. Okay, there's compilers, there's schedulers. Schedulers is one that puts your song, okay, it's going to play this slot, it's going to play this slot. There's compiler compiles the song and puts it on this.
So if compiler does not compile the song, nothing scheduler would work with.
Yeah, so those two are the two corrupt people in the industry. The compilers and the schedulers, they're the one that normally arrange this thing.
Okay, now this is, I like what you're saying. You're going to look at the camera now.
Okay.
You're going to speak to your industry.
Okay.
I know that, yes, you are frustrated. I know the pain. And they need to hear from you. And hear me, this very particular thing, obviously, we're trusting God that is going to cut across this very particular continent. Let the compilers, let the schedulers, let those record labels, because you said it, some record labels, they have what you call their own slot, if I'm not mistaken, where they make sure that you, superstar Emmy, doesn't get played. Look at the camera. In whatever minute you have, pour out your frustration, and then at the end of it all, give out your solution that you think.
Okay, I want to say one of the greatest disappointment for every artist is to put so much work in what you do and still being rejected. Okay, for example, we spend hours, time making music, spend hours, resources, money. You spend a lot of money making music video, and sometimes, most of the time, we make dope videos, and one of the great demoralizing things that can happen to me or to other artists is when you spend so much time like that making this content, and one other guy there, because he doesn't like you, maybe because you're from Nigeria, or because he doesn't like you because the song Afrobeat does not sit well to him. He wanted Amapiano and refused to play. Most artists are killing themselves because of that. It's so painful. I know how many artists that say, just me, I've understood the music. I know that it's patient. Some people, they don't have that time. You understand? They just give up the goal. One of my guys like, I'm tired of this music. I don't want to do music anymore. And I asked him, how much have you spent? The money I spent on music is enough for me to buy a house in Soweto. I'm not joking. The money I've spent on music is enough for me to buy a nice house. Some of my music video, some of the cost of the 40,000 rand to make.
Wow.
Because I have to use a red or I use an Ari. To rent an Ari a day is like 12,000 rand. Because I want to get a quality video. Because I don't like explaining.
Using red and Ari, that sounds as if you're shooting a movie.
Yeah, I've got a video with Ari. I don't count how many videos I use with my red to shoot. I've got a video with my video corporate with Fifi B. I rented an Ari because the reason I don't want to go and be explaining to say, bro, don't mind it. This video is not that nice because there's low budget. No, I don't like explaining. So I want to give you the same quality you see for Casper and your verse. But it breaks our heart as artists to put in so much effort and resources. Sometimes we take our rent money to do a project, and one compiler just rejects it because there's no money. It pains to the bone. Like most of the artists, that's why you see most artists, they just kill themselves. I don't know if you saw a video, a Nigerian guy that was trying to hang himself from the bridge yesterday.
Really?
You saw it?
No.
There's a Nigerian artist that actually threw like from the bridge with a rope, long rope. It's trendy. Wow. And he wrote something about end music game, something like that. That's the frustration that happened to artists putting so much effort in your craft and still be rejected.
Wow. Now, I like what I'm trying to check, as he's saying about the Nigerian artist. Now, what is the thing you want to talk to your industry people in terms of a way out of this? Because yes, I hear your frustration. Yes, I hear the fact that you have actually said that the compilers must understand that just by the fact that they don't like the genre that you produced does not mean that you're producing it for them, the compiler. You're producing it for your own market.
True that.
What do you think must happen for these compilers to have a rethink?
I think it has to go with the station. For example, it's illegal for Trace staff to take money from anybody.
Okay.
It's illegal for MTV
I
based.
feel like tempted to ask you, do they do that?
Yes. Trace MTV based channel O. You understand? It's illegal in their policy, in their company policy. It's illegal.
Yeah.
If they
But
catch
the
you,
staffs do
if,
that.
if they catch you, you're fired.
Yeah.
But most of the people they do that. You understand? So it's beyond me just saying to the compiler. It boils down to the owners, the director of the radio to look into this and make sure that every artist is given a fair chance. Because by so doing, they're killing a lot of creatives. There are a lot of good artists out there. There are a lot of good artists. I've listened to hip hop artists from Alex. I've listened to hip hop artists from Joburg, from Strand. They are very good, but because of they don't have the financial resources to back it up, the music is not being heard. They're killing people. People are committing suicide. I'm telling you, artists are committing suicide out of frustration. How long will I do this music?
Do you think that the industry, now this is me bringing it to South Africa, obviously I know that yes, you're foreigners because you've actually said it. Do you think that the people in South Africa also, because I know you've worked with a couple of South Africa, do you think that the industry or the structure of South African, music players, when I mean music player, that also includes your government, which like your RISA, your SAMRO, the people who manage, how do you guys call those things, royalties and all of those things. Do you think that those structures are fair even to the so-called South African people?
I don't think it's fair to the South Africans.
Let
me say, because you see what they do in the compiling industry, there's like 100% royalty. Okay. They say give South Africa 80% airplay. But if you go check on your what do you call it, or your record, maybe or your chart of the week, you still see somebody like Beyonce is taking number 1 on the chart.
Wow.
You see Ed Sheeran taking number 2 on the chart. So they even play more American music.
And yet the system says play 80%.
80% of South African music and 20%. So we foreigners will fall among the 20 sets. Now the 20, imagine there's 20%. The 20% there's American, and there's the big artists, the Nigerian, the Davidos, and they have big budget. They just come and put, hey, here's 200,000 and play my music for the next 5 months.
Wow.
So we try to fit in the last 2%. You see?
Is it the last 2%?
So 20% goes to South African artists, South African creatives. 20% goes to foreigner. So let's say that 20%, maybe 15, let me say 12 goes to America.
I'm tempted to ask you, for example, your big artists like I've mentioned them, your Davido, your Whiskey and Co. Do they come into South Africa, or probably their management company pays the station also
they
here?
Do.
But they don't stay here.
They pay.
Wow.
Because the royalty they make from the royalty covers that.
So, okay, guys, it's called AfriOne. You pardon me because we're talking about this. It's on the business side of the music. And now it's beginning to make sense why most musicians, they are frustrated.
Yeah.
And why many of them are committing suicide. And that's the reason why you just need to keep staying on AfriOne show, because we'll peel this very particular thing and find a way of coming up with a concept. Now, this is what I don't understand. Okay. And please help me. Yeah. I'm not in the industry. So I may ask a question that looks as if what is wrong with this guy. Like, you're supposed to know. Forgive me.
No problem.
Wizkid is in Nigeria.
Yeah.
His music is being rotated in South Africa.
Yeah.
Are you saying to me that, and to the listeners also, that some management fee managing Wizkid paid the South African stations to rotate his music to the point that he is even much more of number 1 than the locals here?
Yeah.
And my question there, that's one. Then my question there is, why will he do that? Because does the royalty goes back to him in Nigeria, knowing too well that he's a Nigerian artist who stays in Nigeria?
Okay, for example, Wizkid is also registered in SAMRO in South Africa. So they also have, despite they are registered in Nigeria as a Nigerian, they also have registration here in South Africa. So they get royalties anywhere in the world. Anywhere that song is playing, they get. That's why musicians, they are very, very rich. Wizkid, when an artist say, I spent 2 million rands in promoting my music, what do you think you spend it on?
Yeah, this is me. I like your question.
Yeah.
I
So the
choose to be
the 2 million you know, right he spent is for compilers. You know what? The reason why it's very difficult for an independent artist to break forth than a record label artist is the budget.
Yeah.
So a record label artist, they already know, okay, no, every month we Superstar Emmy is on that song. He's dropping a song called Love. So we're gonna put the budget for 200,000 to promote the song. So what's 200,000? It's okay, 200,000 is to pay compilers and radio maybe schedulers. Then that money also going to get radio airplay.
Okay.
No, they were going to get what they call interviews and everything for print, newspaper, and video.
Yeah.
So that what record label do, that what I can do.
Yeah.
Because just budget just 100,000.
Yeah.
So they host even what they call the like listening session.
Okay.
So your listening session, when you come to listening session where they play the music, there's compilers.
Yeah.
They've already tipped them and say, bro, you need you to come for listening session. So while you're there in that listening session, there's goodie bags. There's a Samsung Galaxy X there on
that is going to the compilers and those guys.
that is there on the goodie bag. With maybe one bottle of Hennessy Yana, one small bottle of Hennessy Yana.
Small bottle of Hennessy Yana.
and some small things there and the song. So you a compiler, you listen, oh wow, you are there, you're giving this biscuit and meeting, oh nice song. Bro, thanks for coming for the section. Please make sure you play my artist song, Superstar. Yeah. Why won't you play? You play.
Yeah.
So these are the trick the record label they do. This is what they do.
Wow.
To get you some play. So after that you say, bro, please forward me your account. I will send you something just to say thank you.
Yeah. So after the goodie bag and they still also forward me something to say thank you for coming.
And also,
I think I need to be a compiler. I'm tempted now.
And also, because there's a radio monitor. So after 1 month, it's okay. Let's check how many times this radio play. This this guy's not playing the song well. He's only playing it almost 40 times in 2 months. Let's fire him. Let's send him, bro. Let me send you something to remind you to play. So that's what Whiskey they do. When Davido says spend $2 million in promoting his music, his last album, that's what he uses for.
So people like your Burna Boy, people
they
like
pay.
your Casper.
Burna Boy spent about 20 million his album. 20 million. They pay. I'm not lying to you. The reason why you ask me why do they pay is to stay relevant.
So
because
it's not because okay, now I feel like it's not because maybe their music is even good.
Yeah.
It's just because they pay money for them to be seated at that top that makes them feel as if their music is good. Because this is a game about media. I think because I operate in the media. The more, for example, look at these, I feel like saying it, but it's okay. It's called LGBTQI plus and all of the plus that is added to it. Now, there was a time where in the media space, if you find those LGBTQ stuff, it's going to be like a one-scene thing and it's gone. But now, literally, media has so much, enshrine those very particular thing into our mind to the point that when you watch TV, for example, let's say you watch Netflix or whatever channel, and you see those LGBTQ scenes and co, you just make peace like, okay, it's normal. In which I understand that, yes, it's part of the media game to pay the media people for them to be able to promote that so that it stays in your mind where what used to be not normal, now it's now normal. Because of the power of media. And that is the thing here where I'm saying to and this is me being as a pastor. That is why I was saying to a particular pastor friend of mine, I said, see, we need to get to the point where as pastors, we must enter into the space of media. I know that media is expensive, but we must come to the point whereby we have to be deliberate to create a budget among ourselves to promote our people. Otherwise, when they get there, let's imagine like what you've just said now. A boy who is in a church or a lady who is in a church and all of a sudden he needs to promote his song and he doesn't have that 2 million you call. I don't want to call the symbol, but let's just say 2 million. You think that would not make the girl compromise to go and sleep with producer and so-called so that they can, like we say it in Nigeria, they can blow.
True.
Wow. Now, I'm saying this because it's quite frustrating. But let me talk about, now I want us to switch a bit. Let me talk about your collaborations with your fellow Africans in South Africa.
Yeah.
I know that you've said it before and stuff. To be precise, if you don't mind me asking, because of the audience who are watching currently where are you from?
I'm from Nigeria.
Which state?
Delta State.
So
Agbo.
Agbo. Agbo. So, and you've been here practicing and doing your business for how long?
13 years.
13 years.
I came here before World Cup, February 28th.
February 28th. And thus far, how has the experience been for you as an individual? In terms of the reception?
Music or what? Or general?
Just general about your life. Obviously, when you came into the country, you did your own stuff. But as human, as an African in South Africa, how has your experience been? Let's leave the music part.
Okay.
In terms of reception from the people, then we'll get into your music because they're different world.
I think reception for me depends on where you go as a human being, depending the kind of reception I received. When I came, I was always in church.
So I was a church boy.
So church is always a friendly land. Christianity is a religion of peace. So I personally, in that most of the people I always meet were people from the church. Yeah. I was just like in 2015 when I deviated, when I gave my life.
He said he deviated. You said so.
No. Okay. A little bit. Okay, I changed my perspective.
To ask you, why did you deviate? It's okay. Why did you deviate?
No,
you are the one who brought the statement.
No, the reason is the same pastors that made me deviate.
Pastors made me deviate.
Yeah, but I'll tell you right. The reason I did an album launch, a gospel album launch, my pastor always said, make sure you fulfill your pledge in church. I did that. He promised 1.5 on my album launch. He never gave me the mountain date. Even when I asked, I said, Pastor, why will you come in public and say, my son, I've done a nice work. I'm going to...
When you say promise 1.5, is 1.5 million or 1.5?
Rands.
Million or 1,000?
Rand, 1,000 rand. You just say
1.5.
1,500 rand.
Okay, you're confusing me.
Okay, 1,500 rand. He said, this song is so nice. We came to support my brother, Superstar Emmy. Yeah, God bless you guys. On behalf of me, I'm going to donate 1,500 rand to Superstar Emmy. And that thing really broke my heart because he never fulfilled.
He's a pastor.
Yeah, and he said, when you vow, you should do what you vow. So it actually broke my heart to say, pastor that preached to me, he couldn't. I even went to him and I said, no, bro, forget that thing. It's the gas, it be. You understand, stuff like that. So those are the things I actually, this gospel, what they're preaching doesn't work. Let me just go to that's what make me. I'm just telling you the truth.
No, I'm happy.
And that's why, as a leader, we must know that people look up to us. People expect some level of responsibility. You understand? And if you feel that, it actually demoralizes people. Like, for example, I did an event that didn't profit me a lot. I can go back to my followers and say a story. No, I have to make sure, even if I don't have cent, I make sure they are fine.
They are fine, yeah.
I have to pay everybody, go, everybody. No one is calling me to say, you owing me. It's fine. I won't say because of my own needs and I do mine and make people cry.
Do you think that the church contributed to your living the circle of Christian music? Because I know you're still a Christian.
100%.
The church contributed.
100%. Just like the way you said, an artist from a church did a song and you need money. Nobody's going to give you money. Go to the church and say...
So are you saying that the church is not fully equipped now for them to be able to promote musicians?
No, they're not fully equipped.
But we have likes of your Chris Oyakhilome and co who is doing that. What do you want to say about
That's 1 out of 100.
1 out of 100?
That's 1 out of 100.
That's a lot.
So you can check. Go meet your pastor. They say, Pastor, oh God, I've just released a song. I've never heard, bro. The pastor said, you did a song. Let me give you... What do you need to do this song? They can even say it because of hype in the church. People are like, no, my brother, your song is nice. We're going to sponsor this song. We're going to do videos. That's just a hype for that day. It's a hype for that day. And after that, you won't see anything. You understand? So the most artists you see, most good artists, check where they're from. They came from the church.
No, I think that I agree. I remember the days when I used to do my business as Dexterity Radio. And most of the people, funny enough, I think that's why maybe when God called me into this very particular show, I knew that, okay, fine, I have to also bring some of my experience out. Most of the people who owes me during the days of my Dexterity were literally pastors. Now, back to, no, I'm thinking back to the church, and I don't want to really talk much about the church because you are a church boy. Who literally, I remember the days where I don't want to mention the church where you were a gospel singer, and he was literally singing on that very particular place. A very good singer. And the shock of you leaving the church, hear me, this is a question I want to go into now. When the people find you that you've left the church into secular music, what were their receptions of you and what were they saying?
For me, I don't care what they were saying or what they said.
Okay, I hear you. But did you get any stuff coming from people?
Yeah, I don't think directly, but indirectly.
Indirectly statement like what?
They couldn't just come to say, why did you leave gospel? So some people say you were frustrated. They just say, I just said from somebody saying that from somebody. But no one came to me personally to say that to me because they know no one is paying my bills.
True.
I need to feed my family. I've got responsibilities to take care of. You understand? As long as you're not paying, you don't have to right to come and be telling me why you're leaving gospel. Because I'm looking for where I'll get the money. Because the church is not supporting me. I don't want to steal. I don't want to do fraud. I don't want to sell drugs.
Do you believe that the church was supposed to play an active role in the life of the actors or the talents in your church?
Yeah. The tithe and offering is made for the worship, what do you call it, the staff, the workers
The workers, okay.
of the church.
But
But,
what
that's not taken
An
care of.
artist who, I hear what you're saying, but an artist who is not a worker in the church and yet is making the church, is placing a demand on the church supporting them. Do you think that that's fair?
It's fair. I'll tell you why. Because
Yes, obviously.
because you also are a contributor to the church. You pay your offering, you pay your tithe. So I believe if a member comes to me, the pastor say, Pastor, my son doesn't have food, my son doesn't have school fees, or me myself, I don't have school fees. Just good gestures, even once. Just okay, I'll pay your school fee this month. That's what I want to hear. It encourages people to do more. Some, the bad part of it. Some pastors, they won't do it. They will encourage other people not to do it. For those of you who live here and go and be asking our member money, if I catch you, stuff like that. You don't want to help. You don't want other people to help. You understand? Because you want all the blessings to come to you.
But I think maybe because I'm a pastor, and I'm happy that we're having this conversation. I'm not afraid of being honest and stuff. If you look at the ecosystem of the church, and hear me because I'm a pastor, the church is literally being funded by literally 25% of the people who comes to the church.
True that.
Indirectly, for example, there are 100 members in the church. It's literally 25 to people of that 100 members that are literally in.
True that.
Now, you need to understand that the church, the pastor has the bills to pay in terms of the church. There are rentals, there are staff salaries, and all of those very particular things. And also, there are people who is going to come, like you said, my family or my daughter or my son does not have school fees to pay. Now, you have people who, because obviously I agree that the tithe and the offering is to service and to meet the needs of the people that is in your church. But if that very particular percentage of people who are coming into the church who are not contributing, do you notice that if 25% of the people that are bringing the tithe and the offering and 75% are not bringing, how do you think that 25% will feed 75%? Do you think that that is fair?
Yeah, for me, like I said, it's all about good gesture. Yes, Dan. If it's in your heart to give, it's in your heart to give. Let me give you an example. When I came to this country, I wanted to go to school. I was actually going to school, Boston College. It's called Boston College for IT in Pretoria.
Okay.
I was serving under a pastor. Like me, I will always use myself. I was not just a member. I was a devoted member.
Okay.
I was always in the house. I was always playing piano. Like if I'm a pastor and there's someone that's devoted to my work, I was being paid 800 rand. I pleaded with that pastor. I pleaded with that guy. Please, pastor, because of my school, just increase my salary to 1.5. Because my school, he was paying me 1,000. My school fee was 800. So I said, just increase my salary to at least 1.5 so I can be paying school fee 800. Then the remaining money, I'll survive with it. I was staying in the church. I was sleeping on the floor in the church. But he never did that. Until one day I had to rebel because I got the key.
Do you think that the pastor has the money at that moment?
100%.
How do you know?
100%, bro. We come to church.
Because
We hear people donate. We hear people donate to church. We're talking about just a difference of 600 rand.
No, we hear people donate in church, true. But have you been able to take time for you to go back to the accounting system to see what that donation is literally doing? Because yes, I've heard stuff. Before I become a pastor, I was also a member. And it is when I become a pastor, I begin to see that, okay, God has a reason why he made me to be at the membership side, so that by the time I get to the pastoral place, I understand. For instance, I don't want to mention church name. There is a particular thing I'm exposed to now whereby, for example, the church is literally trying to raise the money to feed the community. Guess what? Out of the percentage, still back to 25% of the people bringing money. And I remember saying to the team, I said, see, hear me, until we get 75%, because I know that if we allow 25% to contribute, the people that will come and feed from that thing literally are the 75% plus their great grandmother and all the family they are going to bring into. So I remember saying to the team, we are going to pause it, because the truth of it is this, Emmy. I mean, Superstar Emmy, you pardon me, because I will switch between Emmy and Superstar Emmy and Emmy G's, whichever one comes to my head. But officially, his name is called Superstar Emmy. You can find me on all the social media platforms. Now, when this very particular event happened, I remember saying to this very particular thing, we're going to pause it until we get 75%. Because why? We look at the demands of what is going to come. Are people donating? Yes. But we were smart enough to understand that, and this is one of the things that we played that was very interesting, is the fact that we put the people in that community to understand. So that you don't say the pastor, because these are the things that many members don't understand that. And I'm not defending us pastors. There are pastors who by They have the resources and they choose to be selfish. But there are genuine pastors where, because they don't want to come and tell you that this is the pain that they are going through. Because remember, we pastors, it's like where you will come and meet a pastor, you know that the marriage is going to fail, but the pastor will never tell you, divorce the person. You know why? We are under oath that says what God has joined together, let no man put asunder. So when you come and meet a pastor for divorce issues and co, they don't tell you the truth. Because why? There is under an oath whereby they stay. The same thing also applies to finance. We operate this very particular thing in our mind that we walk by faith and not by sight. So when you come and ask us for 1,500, we don't have the 1,500. We are expecting it, and we can't open the church account to say, okay, this is what is here. Now imagine you are angry for 1,500 and 10 other people are angry for 1,500. So which means the church account has to be open to 1,500, because we have to have this conversation so that members of churches will also understand that before you throw stone at your pastor, take time. And this is me saying this, please hear me. And I'm not saying that all pastors are correct. Before you throw stone at your pastor, take time and ask your pastor, what is happening with the finance? And hear me, the only way, let me say this on air so that he helps you. The only way you have right to go and meet your pastor to ask your pastor of what is happening in your finance, if you're not a tither, don't try it. Because hear me, I have that constitution in my church, and I'm saying it, platform church. If you are not a tither, you have no right whatsoever to come and meet me and say you want something. Even though your tithe is 1 rand, you have no right. Because where do you think the money is coming from? You have never contributed to the church, but yet you want the church to bless you. For me, that's fraud.
Okay, how do you play someone that sings for you 24 hours? They always come to your church and sing, like your lead vocalist that's always devoted to your church.
Now, that is a different ballgame. If you are working in my church, and I know you are there 24 hours, now my primary assignment, and I'm saying this on air because I have experienced that personally, you and I know. I don't want to mention church, where we were together. I have devoted my time in church, where I remember, I'm going to say this, I remember from that very particular church where I was before, they poached me. I came to this very particular church. I was the video guy stroke editor stroke what and co. They changed the system and say, okay, fine, you need to be here 24 hours, and the salary did not change. So I've been in your shoe.
Okay.
Now, guess what? When that happened, what will I have done as a pastor? Okay. My part is to primarily focus on the people who are developing that very particular church of mine that I'm there. Now, am I saying that the pastor should not develop its member? No. But this is where I am appealing to everyone listening to me, and also to you, that just because the pastor did not show you the bank account of the church does not mean that there is 2 billion sitting there. I bet you many of them, I have sat with pastor, man of God, I almost call him man of God, yeah, you're a Christian. I have sat with pastor. If you see our tears, maybe one of these days I'm going to do a show called The Tears Behind the Pulpit. If you see our tears, you'll be shocked. I have seen a pastor where publicly, literally, he is portraying that I have this very particular car, blah, blah, blah. Yes, he does have it, but I bet you behind the scene, there is no fuel inside his car. And yet, the church is bringing... I remember a particular pastor, I don't want to mention his name because he's a popular South African who then became a pastor. I wanted to give details and stuff. In his church, he raised an offering to build the church. Guess what he said? This is a South African pastor. Guess what he said? After they raised an offering, people came out to give. And he said, so he just twisted the stuff. He said, I'm shocked that all of you came out to give and stuff. He said, have you guys ever asked, how do me and Mama survived? We work here 24/7. You come with your pain, come with all of these things. Yes, we know that the money that comes into the church is for the church and also for the payment of the salary and co. But I'm seeing all of these things you guys are buying and stuff for the church. But nobody ever asked, how's the pastors doing? These are the tears that pastors go behind the pulpit that they don't tell you. Now, back to your question. A keyboardist working in the church 24/7. What should a pastor do? And I'm saying this looking at the camera. Pastors, hear me. If you have somebody who is working for you 24/7 and you know this person is contributing, please, I beg you, put them first. Put them. My wife bear me witness. And I'm saying this on air. And I know I don't want to mention name. There is a member in our church where we see that very particular lady, she has contributed so much. On that very particular Sunday, the Lord said to me, son, every offering you take this day, give it back to that very particular member. I did that. My wife, and I told the lady, record it and stuff, but that offering and co, let it go back to your bank account. She was shocked because why? I have seen her labor. Guess what? The intensity at which that very particular person is working currently. But how many pastors will do that? Few. I'm not going to say none. Few, because I don't know all pastors. I'm saying this to you here, sir, is this. As we go back into your narratives, with what I have said, do you now see the point that because the accounting system of the church, and this is why many of your artists are leaving the church and going down to the secular, Because the accounting system of the church is not being open to the public, members of the church think that there is 2 billion sitting in the church, whereas it's just 20,000 to pay the rent, and yet they still owe 5,000 for water and electricity. Do you think it's fair?
Okay, let me give you an example. Except maybe the pastors are preaching that what's not true. A pastor wants you to take risk. I will put it in a layman's term.
Yeah.
To take risk, like to sow seed.
Yeah.
Even when you don't have, they want you. I'm saying in layman's term.
No, I hear you.
You know, it's in the gospel. They say, I want you to sow seed.
Yeah.
I want you to believe God. I want you to have faith, even if you know you don't have it. But the same pastor can do the same thing for you. He can go out of his way to say, I know I don't have it, but let me just sacrifice for this guy. This is empowerment. Somebody's asking you, okay, I want to go to school, but I'm short 600 rand. I just wanted to increase 600.
Are you this?
You guys say that guy doesn't have 600 rand.
No, this thing are you talking about? I see. I hear you, sir.
It's not possible.
But
I don't need to know the church account. Like
I'm not even talking about account. Okay. I want to say this person we're talking about. Is he actively involved in the church, or he's just a passerby?
It's me. I'm talking about me.
Oh, you're talking about.
I'm talking about me.
I can't blame that.
But I'm telling you what happened. Like I was working in the church. You understand? My salary there was 1,000. I pleaded with this guy. He said, okay, no, after 6 months we're going to increase it. I spent 6 months.
I feel like tempting you. The pastors sign contract to their members in church.
Some do, some don't. But I've never had a contract with any church.
So maybe that's the reason why the pastor was not accountable to you, because you don't have a contract.
Yeah, so even like that.
Do you believe that pastor should have a contract with his members?
Yeah, some even if
I'm asking you personally. Do you believe?
I believe some should have. I believe.
You say some.
Okay, I believe we should have contract, but even at that, Christianity, people they play with your mind. It's a mind game. No, now you come and if I curse you, something will happen to you. All the kind of
cause business. Man.
Yeah, it happens a lot. Yes, I remember I've gotten to that point when I rebelled against that pastor in terms of I went for a gig. That's the rebellion I did. I actually went for a gig in Limpopo without telling him. So he only knew. He only knew. He actually did. He actually did. Then you were like, no, make it something like we just said some people were there that time. Even went to the Afra, going to the up pulpit. You pay me 1,000, somebody's offering me to my place as a phone for 5,000 in Limpopo, and he said I shouldn't go when I'm hungry.
I will go also.
Yeah,
honestly,
I
will go. I'm a pastor, but hear me, I'll go.
I remember the wife called me and said, I said, Mama, I'm going. She said, no, you can't go now. Papa says she don't go. I said, but Mama, I'm going. And I remember the other pastor saying, let me go. I pray for you. Everything will be fine. So
are you saying that?
So I'm just saying the things that happen, like actually make people like us say, you know what?
Let's just go into the world.
Let's just go into the world and make the money. I still love God. Like I'm a believer. I still play in church.
Yeah.
I play in the church and I'm devoted. I go there for free. My pastor forced
you tithe?
Yeah.
I just have to ask you because you're a Christian. Do you tithe?
Tithe. I won't say yes. I won't say no. No, I'm not faithful in my tithe. No doubt. Okay. For that, and I've got a reason.
Do you contribute to the success of your church? Apart from playing keyboard for free,
no,
financial contribution?
I contribute to just of my church every time.
Okay.
Every time. Like, that's when I do. Even like, there's no Sunday I don't go with people to my church. I drive my car to pick someone in Yeovil, pick someone in Lindes, pick one Alex. We go to church every Sunday.
Every time I'm laughing, I'm saying this. Pastor, please, your son says he's not faithful. So I think you need to preach faithfulness or tithes on him. You're doing like this. You're warning your pastor in advance. Like, you dare near me.
No, no one. I'm like, just don't watch it, pastor.
Don't watch it.
Yeah, no, just okay. I actually went this on the church I went to.
Yeah.
Before I came to this church.
Yeah.
That they don't believe in tithing.
Yeah.
So he believes that if all those things, old laws are abolished, tithing should be a part of that. That it should be a free. That's his own preaching. So I resonated with his preaching. You understand? So that's why I don't.
No, but
I also I'm in the school of thought. I believe that I rather get that money, and I know there's somebody that is needed the most. I give. If I have for church, I'll give. I always give to church. That's not that. If I have money, church.
But do you understand that? And this is. I'm happy that we're saying this with an artist because most of you artists and have heard that. Do you understand that the tithing and the offering system is literally to keep the church and sustain it?
I know.
So now the pastor who says, and I've heard a lot of pastors who actually come up with that statement that Old Testament is abolished, and I ask them, if Old Testament is abolished, but how come many of us still preach what you call Deuteronomy chapter 28. Thou shalt be blessed when you go out and thou shalt become. That's Old Testament. And I said to people that it is very easy for you to say Old Testament has been abolished when it is the law or the law of the covenant for your part, but when it is the blessing of Old Testament, that's fine. Do you notice that the tithe and offering system was actually mentioned in the book of Hebrew? We also see Jesus Christ also talking about the issue of tithe. He also mentioned it by himself. Now, we're not here to just talk about tithe, but I just want to appeal to people that are watching that your tithe and your offering, hear me, I'm going to say this because I'm a pastor, your tithe does not take you to hell. If you don't give tithe, you don't go to hell. It just shows that you are saying that you are not a covenant, the vision of the church, you don't believe you need that much to give your 1/10 or whatever. Because, hear me, if the Old Testament is abolished, this is where I want to go into. How come the 10th commandment, one of the 10 commandments there says, thou shalt not kill? Then which is that commandment? Because you can't abolish half and keep half. If we want to say the Old Testament is abolished, from Genesis to Malachi, all of it should be gone. So which means in the church, we should not tell members, thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not commit adultery, because it's Old Testament, it has been abolished. I don't know if you understand. So why is it that when it comes to financing of God's kingdom, it's a problem? Old Testament has been abolished. But when it comes to blessing, for the pastors to bless you and to release grace upon your life, the Old Testament is still staying. Do you see the 419 that is happening within the church? So I'm actually saying this not to you, but I'm actually saying it to also people who are watching.
I think you preach it very better. Like I haven't heard it from this perspective you just said, so it makes sense.
It makes sense now to you. I feel like preaching now. Should I go deeper? There's a lie. I'm not going deeper. But now back to your career. But guys, please hear me.
Sorry.
It is your responsibility. You cannot exempt one thing that is in the Old Testament to benefit your cravings on your own lust. Just because somebody, and guess what? Check pastors, hear me. Check pastors who preach against tithe. They are nowhere to be found. It's God's system to sustain. I remember I brought a particular guest who was sitting here. And I feel like mentioning his name because he shows us out there, Tumisho Masha. Tumisho Masha was here. He said something. He said, I wish people will understand, and I'm trying to paraphrase. I'm not saying he said it verbatim, that I wish people that if he has a way, his pastor should just sit, let my tithe and my offering take care of the pastor, so that from Monday to Monday, that is your job, bruh. Sit down there, pray, fast, so that when I come on Sunday, you bless me. How many of us are thinking like that? And the thing I'm also happy is the fact that he's a celebrity, a big known one. When he said it, I'm like, honestly, in my heart, I'm like, oh my God. I wish people will understand this. Please, guys. Let's leave it there, because we can talk about that. That's an emotional thing for me, because a lot of church, and that's why we see the secular world is actually trending. Because let's be honest, we give resources more to the secular world than even the church, and we're wondering why the church is not making progress. My next question I want to ask you, in your 13 years being in South Africa now, over with your music industry, have you found a fair play with your fellow colleagues who are not Nigeria?
There's never a fair play when it comes to South Africa. In anything. No, in
Say
anything.
to the mic and look at it.
There's never a fair play when it comes to South Africans and foreigners. There's never a fair play. Business-wise, even in education, even in music, there's never a fair play.
So you're saying there's no fair play?
No,
let's leave education. I'm talking about your industry, because you're a music
in industry. Let me, for example, for the industry, I can say, I just told you now about there's 80% South African play and 20%.
Never a fair play.
You hardly see a South African club booking a Nigerian artist.
Funny enough, as you're saying that
you can check it out. I'm telling you, the only club you see booking Nigerian artists is maybe Nigerian artists, Nigerian owner,
of the
Congolese owner, Eritrea owner, Ethiopian owners. Those are the ones. But if you go like all these real South African clubs, you not see them booking Nigerian artists. It's hard. Once in a while and everything.
Do you think that maybe because you don't understand the language, that's why they don't book you?
No, music is universal. You don't need language to do music.
But the people, most of these artists in South Africa, when they go to those clubs, they speak their South African language in terms of music.
No, music doesn't. You don't need to speak Zulu for people to like your music. You're bad for the result, now to the detour. Me at the win by default without any doubt. Most South Africans don't know what that song means. They don't even mean it's talking about heartbreak, but they play it in club. Music is universal. If it's good, it's good. But I can tell you, there's no fair play. Like you hardly see a South African club owner giving a gig to a South African for Nigerian artists. Look at the lineup of most of the festivals happening now. Have you ever seen a Nigerian guy on the lineup? The one that plays on TV.
Don't you think that because you are not signed under the record label or you're not in the management company?
Do they want to sign us on the record label?
Have foreigners, and I'm not going to say you.
How many foreigners have you seen sign under maybe Mabana noise or?
Do you go there? Have you asked?
No, most people have applied. Most people have, maybe have not gone, but people have applied.
Mabala noise, please, if you're listening to me.
Maybe the people that speak the language, like the Sutus, like the Shonas, those ones. But people from West Africa, it's hard, bro.
Do you think that even within themselves here in South Africa in the music industry, they also segregate themselves?
Yeah, they do. There's a lot of sabotage here.
Within themselves?
Because it's business. Music is business. People are fighting each other. People are poisoning each other. People are even killing each other.
The industry is rough.
No, the industry is rough. There's a message. Let me show you a message. One MC he sent me. I'm just going to read the message out for you.
All right. Why he's looking for the message, I want to make an appeal to South African companies, and that also includes every company registered in South Africa. That includes also those who are foreigners who owns companies, and you're into the entertainment industry, or probably you're into a business. Please, because of the AfriOne concept that in which we preach, I want to appeal to you, please. Try everything within your possible best to make the thing a fair play. I know that here's the system. Funny enough, before this very particular place, ANC is currently calling that some certain jobs, remember I was showing you, so certain jobs should not be given to foreigners. But hear me, ANC, I agree. But in terms of crime, these foreigners, they came from their country in here to look for better opportunity. I know you will still say, it's our country, why did you come? Why don't you stay in your country? Because there are people like Nkantla Locks and Co. that are also going to say nonsense. It's okay, it's their right. But now the thing there is the fact that if there is an opportunity of the people who are qualified to do the job, why give it to people who don't qualify to do the job simply because you're trying to put a scorecard on, for lack of a better word, nationality? Read your comments.
Okay, this is just from an MC. He said, that reminds me, I've been going through some spiritual attacks spiritually. Maybe
this MC, is it local? Let's just establish.
I think it's local. I think it's South African. It's South African.
Okay.
South African. Maybe you can tell me. I notice you do both gospel and club life. Do you sometimes get attacked like your enemy wants you down via club life? I tell you the reason I ask, because it has been happening to me lately. I act like I don't go through it, but I am. I say yes, and I said yes. I had a call from that my brother got stabbed Saturday. The very same Saturday, me and my first wife had an altercation
yeah.
To a point it ruined my friendship with my friend. Mind you, I dislocated my leg and it's not healing. And then there's a dream I've been getting. I shut down because there's no one to talk to. There's more to it. How do you deal with such? So spiritually, even me, I've been attacked in the club. I've once my leg, bro. I noticed I couldn't walk, bro. But because I'm spiritually inclined, like I know that this is not natural.
I feel like asking you guys, do you guys have a covering in your industry?
Covering, like what covering? Spiritual covering.
Spiritual covering.
Yeah, me, Jesus is my spiritual covering. I don't joke with that one. Like the whole of June, I actually fasted the whole of the 30 days. And I told my management team, I said, we're not going to eat for this month. We're not going to have sex. We're not going to eat. And we're not going to drink alcohol. So we go to club like this, there's alcohol, boo, boo, boo. We just take a Red Bull, I put Red Bull in the alcohol. So Red Bull we're drinking. We take the Hennessy, put it in the bag, we take it home.
But do you share this kind of story to your fellow colleagues in the industry?
Like this one, he asked me, I shared it to him. I told him, I said, Jesus Christ is the only way. And I told him, I said, Jesus Christ is the only way. That's all. I told him, I say, hold Jesus Christ strongly. I have a spiritual mentor, which is my pastor.
Exactly. That's what I'm going through.
I fast and I pray. This is what I said.
Yeah, and guys, hear me. I'm seeing it.
So you see, you see, I think that's what I like. I left church due to politics of church. As such as I believe, have fasted and I pray in over 7 years, and I know I do have mental, but I'm still suffocating. Hence, I don't know where to go. I want to go to church this Sunday, and mind you, it will be my second time this year. So these are people.
This year.
You see, so I'm gonna be a secular artist, but I don't know where I don't forget where I'm from. This from Jesus Christ, from the church. You understand? I hold on to my faith because I believe this world is spiritual. And there's a lot of envy, there's a lot of jealousy happening. Like me, when I go to club, I drink, I mistakenly leave and go out. I don't drink it anymore.
Because you know that they'll spike the they'll spike the drink and it's all over for you.
There's a lot of hate.
Yeah.
There's a lot of hate. My last party, a girl invited a guy to my last party, and the guy said, "Oh, you want to invite me to that guy's party that sleep with all of you?" Wow. That was his comment to the girl. And I told her, I said, I don't even need to ask you who is the person. Don't need. It doesn't matter, bro. People will talk. People talk shit. It's like
What
that.
is your advice you want to give to an upcoming artist based on the fact of your experience? What is the advice? And I want you to look at the camera and tell an upcoming artist.
Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. No one can do it better than you. If you believe music is what you need to grow or to make it in life, stay put. It's never easy. You meet tribulation, you meet trials, frustration, you meet a lot of no's. Trust me. DJ Khaled said, in my life, 90% of my life, I played for free. Now is when I started making money in the music industry.
And I like that guy called DJ Khaled.
Yeah, so you must understand that it's not easy. Bro, I'm telling you. People say, no, you make a song now, boom, next week you blow. Some people come to my studio and say, no, after this song, I release this, I'll just blow. In my mind, I won't just want to discourage them. I'll just laugh.
You're joking.
Welcome to the industry. You understand? So it's not easy, bro. It's not easy. You're going to meet compilers. You're going to meet many no's. If you're that kind of person that knows make you to retire, just retire now. Retire now. Because you're going to get no's. You're going to get frustrated. You're going to be on the stage performing and they cut your mic. It's going to happen. You understand? You're going to be performing like this and somebody just give you a bad eye like, you understand? It's part of the industry. It make you what make you grow. But if you stay put, you'll reap the fruit of your labor. Like
I feel like asking you a question. Will you advise somebody with all of your experience that you've gone through? Will you advise somebody to go into music industry?
If the person is good at it, yeah. If the person is really good, because
not everybody to ask you. Okay, I hear you.
Not everybody.
Will you advise your own child?
Yes, if she's very good at it, if he's good at it.
Okay.
You know, not everybody in the industry ought to be in the industry. You know, this one is just singing. This one don't have talent. You know the kind of artist you see. You know, this one is just singing, but he doesn't have talent. This one he just want to be. But the one you see, you hear the one sing. You know, this one. You can actually raise the dry bones. I would never stop. I would never stop my daughter or my son from pursuing that dream in music. If I sincerely know in my heart that this guy has what it takes, I'll promote it. I'll support. But if I know that if I just say, go, yay, I know. My son, please come. Let me advise you. Can't you just try tailoring or try something? That's what I would do.
Like just outside, you're South Africa, who's silly tailoring.
That's what I would know. If I know it's good in that area, bro. Me, I can, bro. Gone at those days, I would say I want my daughter to be a doctor. No, fuck doctor, fuck no. Sorry. Poo poo. On sensor. Poo poo.
Please disclaimer.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
I don't care if they don't want to be a doctor, they want to be a psychologist. I don't care. You understand? So as long as what makes them happy, I'm going to support them fully. I just need to make sure that they love it. Like me, music is your. How do you know what is your talent? It's anything that makes you happy and you're not being paid for it, and you can still do it.
That's a talent.
You see,
do you think it is important for an artist, upcoming artist, and including you, for them to study the business side of music?
Very important.
How important it is?
It's very important because there's a lot of money that goes in the music industry. Otherwise, you'll be frustrated. There's a lot of ways you can make money from Spotify. So if you don't know a lot of things from radio play, if you don't know those things, you just be making music and your music, you don't see anything. So the business part of music enables you to negotiate with people that can invest in your music. One, it enables you to know where your money is coming from your streams, because there's a lot of money coming from different part of music. For example, if I drop a song on DistroKid now, it's distributed to more than 20 platforms. So you might be here, be broke, and your music is doing very well on iTunes because you don't have an iPhone, you don't know.
But what of it?
But tomorrow, I'm telling you.
Don't you think that it is? Hear me. I'm not in your industry. Don't you think that? Why will I listen to your song, and I know that your song is good, or probably this is okay? Let me take it this way. I listen to your song and your song is not good, and yet I've wasted that 3 minutes because I don't know how many. These days you guys sing song for 1 minute. So I listen to your song for 3 minutes. Your song is, I've just invested 3 minutes of my time that I'm supposed to be doing it somewhere else, but yet I'm not being paid to do that. Don't you think that the money you pay Casper at a consultant fee for him to be able to give himself an attention for him to listen to that song of yours?
No.
We're talking business now. That's business of music.
No, that's why you have a team. You understand?
But that team that is going to just listen to music, you pay them salary, sir.
Yeah, you pay them salary, but it's not from the artists that you want to collaborate, because mind you, collaboration goes in two ways.
Okay.
We do a song with somebody from Mozambique. There are possibilities that song get big in Mozambique. You get gigs that side.
Okay.
It's a gamble. Business is gamble. Business is risk.
So indirectly,
I'm not saying he can't charge, but the money that artists charge is ridiculous.
Imagine if I don't know you,
like, imagine you want to get to Burna Boy.
Yeah.
You should be looking like a minimum of $100,000
to meet Burna Boy
to do a song, just to do a song with him. Minimum $100,000. So you just share the grace.
You know, when he says this word, just say the grace of me, I'm like, okay, you guys are serious.
I know there's a lot of people reaching out to him, but at the end of the day, they kill a lot of creatives that want to come out. You see,
I think it makes sense with your advice
You see,
about
if-
focus on your
yeah.
yourself.
So for me, let me. I know this is what I told God I was gonna do. If God placed me in the level I want to go musically,
And you will get there. Not
that
if.
I'm
I need it to
there.
be there because there's a,
Yeah,
there's a,
I need
there's
to
a
be there.
music
I need
thing
to be
that I
there.
want to do with you.
I can actually say, you know what? On my stand I just posted today, I want to give somebody a free collaboration. Send me your song. 20 persons. I just play all their songs. Leave a system bar. I'll be doing it maybe twice a year or 3 times a year for free.
Can we hear me? Can we make a commitment live on air?
Yeah, we get me.
Can we?
Yeah, we
Are
can.
you ready?
I'm ready.
Next year, you and I will come up with something. We'll
Okay.
talk about it on the musical side
Okay.
and see who we can promote.
Okay.
And I like what you've just said in terms of you would call an artist to say, I want to collaborate with you and co. And this is us literally, and I'm appealing to you. That's why I
Sure.
said in the commitment. This person is not going to be a celebrity.
Sure.
I don't know who the person is you're currently watching. He's not going to be a celebrity. I'm not saying this here because I know he's a busy guy. He has gig already for this year and stuff. So I don't want to excuse him that tight. I use the word next year. But if it happens this year, it's fine. You are an artist and you're listening to me now, or you're watching us on any of the platforms currently, and you have a good music and you feel that you want to collaborate with somebody that is in the industry. Hear me, AfriOne is the fact that we promote collaborations with different nationality. I'm putting my friend on the chopping block, and he says that it is fine. Drop your song. I feel like, okay, the email address, I'm going to put the email address here. The email address is called a1@afrione.africa. A1, drop your song and stuff, and let's see, let's get, because he is passionate about that. Like he said, currently now he's willing to partner and stuff. And don't worry about the money and co. We'll see how we'll sort that very particular thing. Are you game for it?
I'm game. 100%.
100%.
100%.
Now look at the camera and tell them,
I'm 100% game for it to see my
do
vision.
you have any nationality of people that must come? Or
No, anyone want to come, as long as the song is good, just put the song and keep a system bar waiting. You understand?
What is 16 what?
System bar.
Oh, 16 bar. For you or musicians, you know what 16 bar means? I don't
Yeah,
know.
so
I just want my friend
If
to-
your song is dope, we jump on it. It's simple like that.
Simple like that.
Yeah.
So please do that and we'll take it up. As we begin to bring my thought to a close now, I want to go into your personal career and stuff.
Okay.
What do you want to see the next 5 years? What plans do you have and what should we expect from you?
Okay, next 5 years, I want to be a household name.
Household name, what is the name?
Like I want my name to be in every house.
The name, we don't know the name.
Superstar Emmy. I want
Superstar
Superstar ME's name to be in every house. So have you ever Superstar Emmy? Oh, I want that.
Okay.
I want people to be talking about the name just the way they talk
That
about
is
Burna
5
Boy.
years plan.
5 years plan. It should be even before 5 years.
Amen. No, I know.
Yeah.
Okay, I hear
So
you.
also that's one of my plans. Also to be able to take music, Afro music, bigger. Afro music is big, but it's not everywhere. I can tell you, if you go to places in some places in the locations like in Limpopo, you'll be shocked that they
I
don't
don't
know.
know about Afro music.
When you play because Joburg is not South Africa.
Obviously.
Joburg is just 1/10 of
Just
South
like
Africa.
saying Lagos
Yes,
is not
sir.
Nigeria.
So when you go to a lot of places, you know when you start playing Nigeria, they don't know you understand. So
So you're trying to see how to push your song into every lips in this country.
in the country, South Africa as well, and in Africa at large as well.
Who are the artists, and look at the camera, who are the artists in South Africa that you want to collaborate, and let's place a demand for them to reach out?
Casper Nyovest, one of my favorite artists in the world, though.
The word Casper.
I love that guy. I don't like to. Casper is one of my favorite. Casper, Anastasia. Yeah, those are my favorite artists.
Those are 2 artists you want to collaborate with.
Luiso.
I don't know him. It's fine. I don't know you, but in case if you know me, please reach out.
Luiso is dope. Luiso is dope. And who else? I think I used to like Costa Teach before he died. So yeah.
Ah, okay.
I think
Okay.
those are the ones I like. These 3.
So you're okay. I'll use the top 2. I remember. No, 3. Casper, Anastasia,
Nadia Nakai as well.
Nadia Nakai,
used to do sometime.
and Loiso, the 4 of them. So these 4 of you, please, let's talk. I never can tell. I may bring them to the show and I'll tell them that let me
please,
Let me
we'll
cheese.
play the video for them. So
I'll
yeah.
play the
let's play this video.
Now, the question I want to ask you: what is the scripture? Because this is a faith-based also platform. What is the scripture that keeps you going when you find yourself in difficult times?
I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
And that is which passage of the Bible?
I don't remember the reason. I know I can do.
You see why I like my shows? I don't
know
remember.
exactly that's it, but I just know.
I can do all things to Christ who
I know.
strengthens me. So that's a scripture that keeps you going
Yeah,
every day.
I can do all things through
What
Christ.
is, when you wake up in the morning, what's the first thing you do?
I thank God for another day, for the gift of life, for the opportunity to see another day.
All right, finally, what is that thing that you want to see? When I use the word thing, it can be one or two or three that you want to see among us Africans, because it's an AfriOne show.
I want to see us united. I want to see us being one. I want to see unity. I don't want to hear about xenophobia ideas.
Or Afrophobic or
Afrophobic ideas.
Or the big.
I don't want to hear it. Like, we're all one. I know there's a lot of tension happening in South Africa. Foreigner must go, foreigner must leave. But we are all one. We are Africa. We are black. And this is our continent.
Tempted to ask you,
This
but
is our
permit me, I know
continent.
I didn't take permission from you from that. Tempted to ask you, single, married, or divorced?
Complicated. Still thinking about it.
Okay, wait, please. I tried my best. Because you never can tell. Maybe some potentials are watching in China now. And
No, for now I'm single.
because it's so complicated. Because I'm a potential from China. You never can tell.
I'm single. I lost my woman last month.
Oh yeah, he said it to
Yeah,
me. I'm
last
so
month,
sorry
and
about
also-
it. So sorry.
yeah,
I hope you are healing gradually.
Yeah, I'm healing.
You're healing
I have
gradually.
to- I have to be strong for the kids.
Yeah, I
so-
hear you. I'm so sorry
Yeah,
and
of
stuff.
course, yeah.
I may the Lord strengthen you.
Amen.
But hear me as we begin to bring our thought to a close. You're my friend. I know I've never said this to you. I think I've done, but let me just say it now live on air here.
Okay.
I so much believe in you.
Thanks, man. Thank you so much.
I know that you would have gone through troubles, temptations, and trials that has questioned a lot of things. But hear me, you and I may not be talking, but God sees me. I pray for you.
Thanks.
I know that if you are at the top there, it will also make sense for the kingdom.
True.
I see the message in which you showed me just now about you telling the person about Jesus and also your spiritual mentor that you have around. We need you to be there. And hear me, people who have offended you and it has almost crippled you, on behalf of those people, I apologize. You would have shed tears that you feel that somebody should be able to understand you, but nobody was there to understand you. Hear me, I'm sorry for those moments. The pains that you have gone through, I know that some of those pains, they may be intentional, some of them may not be intentional, but hear me, all of that is making you to become the better person you are.
True.
As I close my statement, Superstar Emmy, because that's your current name, hear me, sir, and look at me. I believe in you.
Thank you so much.
I strongly believe in you, and I hope that one day, you and I was saying to him off air, and this is the truth, and we're going to work it, and I'm already speaking with my manager also. We're going to do something that is going to be South Africa, that is going to be African collaborated in terms of music. And I look forward working with you on that very particular project. But with this being said, I love you, my brother.
Love it, my king. Love
Thank you very much for
Yeah.
being you. Thank
Yeah.
you for being authentic. And I look forward on that day. I know I see your program you've just finished called the mansion stuff. I can't come to the mansion. You can't blame me. my
Mansion
level
band.
cannot bring me to the mansion.
Yeah.
But if you bring it to the valley, I can come to the valley. But the mansion there, I may not come to the mansion. But just know me that as you are in the mansion, we are praying for you.
Thanks.
But
you.
thank you so much for
Can
coming.
I do a
really
shout out?
No, do a shout out. Do a shout
Okay,
out.
shout out to my clothing brand Fumu, Mr. Ohio Maybe Collection. Shout out to you. Shout out to my manager, Japa Victor, Miss Apostle Victor Ike. Shout out to Jennifer. Shout out to Tracy. Shout out to DJ Sweeze. Everyone, AKB, one of my boss for support always. Fide, love you guys.
All right, now,
Hello.
like as you are saying that, I look on air and give me 3 artists that you want them to be on this very particular show. It's a competition. Call them.
I think Ringo.
Ringo, if you're
Ringo
watching.
Malinglozi. Rita Billy, we already have that one already. So let's
Ringo?
Makati,
Uh-huh.
and we can get Casper Newverse of yours.
So Ringo, Malingo. Call the name again because
Ringo, Makati, Casper Newverse.
Ringo, Makati, Casper, your verse.
Yeah.
All right. MG is one of your colleagues. I'm a superstar Emmy. One of your colleagues has actually called you out and we're looking forward to having you. But thank you so much for coming. I really
Very much,
appreciate you.
very
I hope
much.
it worth your time.
Same here.
And
Same
thank
here,
you very
indeed.
much for being honest. I know it's a hardcore conversations we talk, but that's why you love your brother. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you, my bro, man.
Cheers.
I think I was saying,
everyone.
I was saying to him that I need this very particular chain, and he was saying, I will say what he said. He says to me that I don't belong to the world. But I love you, my brother. Thank you so much. I'm looking for my superstar Emmy.
Yeah.
I need you to do one for me.
problem.
I would wear it, and you will see that I wear it, and also I have it as a collection. All of you artists who have this big chain, I'm looking forward for those big chain. Please bring it. What do you mean? But I love you, family. It's a wrap. Please make sure that you subscribe, you share, and you comment. We need your comment the most, and let us know where you are currently watching us from or listening to us from, so that we'll be able to do something better. If you have a question you want to ask us on this very particular show, please, I encourage you, ask your questions. The email for you to definitely reach out to us is A1 there is just AfriOne, A1 at afrione.africa. and one of my team will be available to respond to you. Thank you so much. Always know that the AfriOne show is all about, number one, unity, number two, innovations, and number three, elevation. That is why you see with our guest currently, we talk about the unity side, we talk about innovation, where he was advising people on how to do with the music careers and the music industry they are going into, and also the elevation part of the things is how do we all come together to become one voice, one continent, one Africa, and that's why it's called the AfriOne Show. I remain your host, the Afropolitan Apostle, known as Darlington Steve. Bye for now, and God bless you.